Right, so I've got a theory involving humans on a whole. Go to the days where people went climbing upon Mount Everest, as you will. I believe it's Mount Everest. Where they sadly lost their lives due to essentially the cold weather getting the better of them. In other words, weaken them down up to the point where they breathe their last breath and they perish. Now, my theory is, how do we know they're really dead? I mean, again, this is going to rile up a load of people's false beliefs, ideologies, and only God knows what else, but it's true. Think about it. How do you know they are really dead and not essentially resting within a deep conscious, or should I say deep unconscious even, kind of trance-like break/rest? I'll give you a prime example. Iceman. I mean, I don't know his name, but I know that he can actually run barefooted as well as half naked within ice conditions, snow conditions. He's even been known to have ice cold baths way below zero, and yet he's not caused any psychological or physical injuries, as you will, to the body, because he's somehow managed to slow his breathing immensely up to the point where his heart is now beating extremely slow. So essentially his oxygen levels have decreased significantly, but there's enough oxygen there to actually, in fact, still keep the body physically alive, if that makes sense. The point I'm trying to make is, there have been reported cases of people quite literally losing their fight within cold temperatures only to collapse due to exhaustion within excessive snow covering them, up to the point where they're so badly frozen you'd automatically instantly think there and then on the spot that they died, no question about it. But it gets mind-blowingly interesting. She wasn't dead. I'm talking, or should I say I'm referring to a testimony here regarding a woman. I can't remember her name. But she was found frozen. But yet, when a team of doctors, I believe, and scientists actually, in fact, what's the word I'm looking for? Defrosted her, within the right temperature, they were amazed as well as astonished to find that there was still a heartbeat. Very faint heartbeat. And before you know it, within a few hours, she came back around and boom, fully conscious. The point I'm trying to make is, people shouldn't always assume that those upon Mount Everest are actually in fact physically dead, because you might surprise yourself if you did the research on human psychology as well as the physical body on a whole, and just how powerful we really are as human beings. And these testimonies of other people showing you that, as a matter of fact, icy conditions way below freezing can, as a matter of fact, be, what's the word I'm looking for, survived from, if that is currently how you say it. In other words, people have survived temperatures from around I have no idea, give or take, although don't quote me on it. -8 degrees, -10 at best. It might even be more than that. So I believe wholeheartedly that amongst those that have actually in fact fallen victim due to these circumstances, I believe amongst them there could well be actually in fact someone, whether it be even just one person alone, is within a very deep trance-like rest, as you will. In other words, there's still a heartbeat there, but very, very, very faint. In other words, you would have to take, what are these things called that doctors use to check for heartbeats? It's one of those dun dun dun. You know, you professionals out there might know what, you know, they are, but in other words, you would need to use some of them, or one of them, might I add, to check for heartbeats, or better yet, pulse rates, as you will. So people need to stop jumping to conclusions all the time. Again, this might come across as cold-hearted. Those that have physically more or less become mummified or skeletified, if that's such a word, amongst the ice cold, there's no reviving them whatsoever. I'm referring to those that have probably been up there for no longer than, say, 3-4 years, at tops, that is. Probably even earlier than that. Within the ice cold parts of Mount Everest, and not the parts where George Malloy, I believe it was, where he was found. And there you have it, folks. So, you know, you can either take it from somebody that knows what he's talking about, or you can choose to abuse your free wills by denying me mine, by getting the voice of truth out there, you know. In other words, just because somebody is pronounced dead within an ice-cold temperature setting does not mean they are wholeheartedly dead. There could well still be a chance of survival. Again, it sounds crazy and far-fetched, I know, but trust me, look up these testimonies of other people. Better yet, look up the documentary of the woman that was found frozen stiff within her friend's back garden, I think. You know, with snow covering her, as you will. And the fact that she was defrosted on a relatively lukewarm temperature in order to bring her back round to fully conscious state, as you will. Look up that, and look up the Iceman, as you will. And like I said, you'll even surprise yourselves, you know, on just how powerful, like I said, the human body, as well as the human mind and the human heart really is. Again, trust me.